Hi, Batacas.
Hola Batacas, estamos en el Dinámica International Drum Fest, la segunda edición este año 2022, y estamos con alguien que no necesita presentación, Benny Greb. Ya le estoy presentando, pero bueno, ya sabéis quién es, y si no, os animo a hacer una búsqueda rápida en Google, que seguramente encontraréis cosas que os gustarán bastante. So,
What did he say? Did you say some nice stuff?
I hope so.
Okay, me too. Okay.
You just released your new method, Unboxing
True,
Benny.
yes.
And I was like, I really wanted to ask you some questions about it, because
Sure.
I have your books. I have Language
you.
of Drumming. I have The Art and Science of Groove. I don't have the Vorschlag one because I think it's in German and I don't.
And it's also not on the market anymore. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was my very first.
And I've got the effective practicing for musicians, which is in Spanish. Also,
Yeah, you have the Spanish version?
yeah,
Yeah.
actually they sent it to me.
Yeah,
So-
sure. Of course, we did, yeah.
So yeah, and everything is pretty cool. And after having all that material and having the material of your camp, I'm curious about what else there is, because I think to myself that's like material for a lifetime already, or maybe
Yes.
2 lifetimes. So,
Yeah, and I like it that way. I'm proud of that it's pretty like systematic and all exclusive and or all inclusive in a way. But that's one thing that I never did, which is I like you said, the language of drumming, the art and science of groove, that was very systematic, very conceptualized, and very like in general, and like foundational rules for drumming that benefit everyone with every style. And so in order to be general, I took myself out a little bit every once in a while, because I was like, okay, this is the system, this is what it is. So over the years I was asked like, yeah, but what's this thing that you're doing, or what are you always doing on the left hand, and blah blah. So and I never really talked about like the licks that I'm playing or any transcription of mine really. And so I thought about the brass band album, that I still love it so much, and I still get great feedback about it, and I play it at clinics. I still love those playbacks, they're so much fun to play. And so I thought, okay, I was always asked for the playbacks of those, and I always said, nah, I don't want to bring it out. So the short version is, I wanted to bring out the playbacks. I wanted to film new performances and have someone like complete transcription note for note of what I did.
Okay.
And then I have a video course where I basically explain and help to how everyone can play those songs right away, with kind of a quick start version, and how to really go deep and check out some of the spicy stuff, some of the licks and the nice stuff. So it's basically three, 4 things in one.
Yeah.
So if you wanna play like me, I think it's possible with that. But I hope it does something more, which is you get to know why I play what I play and how I play it, and by that probably have more vocabulary for yourself.
Yeah, which is actually the end goal, right? For everybody.
And have some great playbacks, to play yourself and to have fun with, and maybe to play yourself at clinics or do YouTube videos with it. So
yeah, that's cool. That brings me to another thing. This is something that people in Batacas, in the Facebook page, Facebook group, they asked, and there was kind of a debate there about the price. And I know you're not the first one that has those prices. I mean, I know the courses of Carter McLean, they're kind of like that price tag, maybe Day Village, and
Dave's courses.
And to me that's not a problem, because I pay for education. That's what builds me, But what's your point of view about that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there are two ways of seeing it. The first is someone saying, I can't pay that amount of money, and that I always have empathy for that, because and even if you have, and I had this in the past, whenever you offer something and you offer something for $10, someone can say, I don't have the money for this. And there's nothing I can say about that. If someone says like, I don't have the money for it, okay. If someone says like, this is too expensive for what it is, then I would say, well, maybe I didn't do a good enough job in really explaining the value of it, I think, that it has.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth way more. I mean, if you think about like doing a drum camp with me or having private lessons with me, it would cost like 10, 20 times as much. Yeah. And you still wouldn't have it in such a concise and nice form and organized like that. But I think one thing we can do, and we talked about that already, is like to say, hey, what about we split it up in a couple of parts. So you can have maybe just like 2-3 songs, and then have a third of the price, and then you can have like part 2 if you want to. So that would be one thing. There's not much more I will and can do, because it honestly, it took me like 3 years to put this together. Yeah. And that's the thing. I always want to make it great quality, so I didn't want to just, I mean, I played those playbacks on drum festivals and stuff, and they were sounding like to my ears and with the click, and they weren't done properly. And I didn't want that for people. I wanted to remix it. I went to Sveni, we remixed the stuff, so it really sounds nice now, and you have it in all kinds of different ways. I really wanted the video to be really nice, and I wanted the transcription to be perfect. So it takes a while, and it takes a lot of people, it takes a lot of time. So that's how this price point comes together. But like I said, I totally understand if someone says like, this is not for me, but I would argue that it's very, very valuable. I would have loved to have this from my idols in that depth, and no one complained so far that bought it and said it's not worth it. But again, like I totally empathize, and if it's not for you, or you have to wait a little longer, that's I understand.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been in the camp with you and Jojo, and I've seen how you explain stuff. I mean, besides what's already on the books or on the videos or anything. So I think it's going to be like, I'm curious about it.
I appreciate that you asked me that. That's why there is some, you know, you can have the grapefruit playback in my shop. That's very cheap. You can have still the DVD if you don't have it, which is like $20, $30 or something like that. So it's not that I force anyone to get it for that price, but I think the price is justified. Yeah,
I mean, it's a good video production.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're especially, and as a hobby thing, it's always debatable, right? But as a professional drummer, I can say that when someone says like, I can't afford it, I would almost say you can't afford not to know what's in that thing. Yeah. So if you buy it, it will save you that money at least, or earn you that money in the future if you apply what's in there. But again, like, I hope you'll enjoy it or can check it out somehow.
Yeah. Anyway, you said you went to Sven, to your sound engineer, right?
Yes.
Which brings me to another question, and that's the GGD pack.
Yes.
The GetGoodDrums pack. Yes. I've been listening to it, and I was really amazed, you know, because
pretty spooky.
It really sounds.
Yeah. Maybe it was a mistake.
Now everybody can have the unboxing Benny, know how to play like you, and then have the sounds if they want to trigger.
Wait a second. It was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's. I honestly didn't think it would be that good. They approached me. They're nice. Like GGD is a great company, cool guys, and there was also this thing that Sveni will move studios. So the studio that I did all my albums and all my stuff for the last 20 years, that will be no more. So I mean, he will probably make something greater, but still, it was a good point to say, like, you know what, maybe we can immortalize that sound in that room, and so we did it very, very detailed, and I didn't have much experience with sample libraries in general, but it was hard work. But I'm very proud of how it came out, and I just yesterday programmed the groove on it, and wow, it's yeah, it's a little bit frightening actually. It's amazing, and I've seen so many great things done with it already.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird feeling to see like a gent tune or like something that I couldn't play, you know, like a metal thing or something.
Yeah.
Like with my sound, and I'm like, what's going on? This is crazy. So it's a great experience, and I'm very proud of it.
Anyway, it works. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
listen to the samples as well, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, genty stuff
Yeah.
can be done with this sound, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I know the libraries of GGD, and I think that one's gonna be pretty good for things that aren't there yet.
Yeah.
So
I think it's also for them something that they haven't done before, like sound-wise, and it's also, I think, just the most detailed sample library that they have done, and maybe on the market even. So, like, it's really very dynamic, because this is something that I didn't like about electronic drums before, or like drum samples.
Yeah.
That you always have the feeling of like, there's always a rim shot, or it's just not detailed enough. But we really played from the very, very, very quiet to the possibly quietest to the possibly loudest. And
yeah, which is pretty good, because if you own that library, you can actually just go like, okay, I want to see how this sounds, like this snare, only this snare, and I want to try to replicate the sound, you know, tuning wise or whatever. So you just have it there, you know.
And you can just use it for your electronic drum set.
Yeah, of
you
course.
You can run your Roland or this on your Roland drum set or whatever you use. And
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. You're not really a fan of electronic drum kits.
So far I wasn't, no. But I found out something that I did not know, which is I always thought, okay, I'm not a fan of these Roland sounds. You know, this was the main thing where I'm like, this sounds like the crash cymbals and the snare and then I found out it's not a matter of these pads. Even the more affordable pads, they have all the dynamic
range
levels.
Yeah.
But the sounds usually don't. So if you now use a sample library like this, you will be pretty surprised, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamic range.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to ask you a question that I asked Jojo in the camp. And actually when I asked that question, I saw your face and you were like, So
okay, let's see what
now it goes for you.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. I mean, you just have to know yourself, which I hope you do.
Well, I don't know about that. Let's see.
So, it's what do you think is still with you since the first day you started playing drums? Not like how you started or whatever. Like, what do you think is still with you? You can take a minute to think about it.
That's a great question. What is still with me? I would say the gratitude and the curiosity. This was always an instrument for me that no one told me what to do in the beginning. I started this without a teacher and as autodidact and self-taught, and it was something where I was like, So I first of all had this feeling of like, even when I had a very affordable, cheap or broken kit in the beginning, I was like, it was, and I still have that feeling. And the other thing is this curiosity of like, like what else can be done with this? And I think that these are the two things that I also want to keep and want to cultivate in everything. So gratefulness and curiosity. Yeah, for me it makes sense. Yeah,
we gotta be grateful for doing the stuff we love.
Oh man,
and
yeah. I will stay curious and grateful. And
yeah, will you be curious and grateful tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely.
Solo part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one last thing.
Yeah.
I was so when preparing for a drum fest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of angles in this subject. You know, there are people that just go with their solo and then you ask questions about it or whatever. Other people just, you know, play their stuff from beginning to end, just how it was written.
Yeah.
How is it for you? Like,
I try to have something to start with that I usually like know kind of what happens. So a song is great for that. I then play usually a solo if I have the time, and then that gives me a lot of room. So I heard the sound already, I got warm already, and then I can really try around like what goes in the room and how it sounds and how it's tuned today and like how the equipment reacts. Is the riser a little bit moving or not, and then you can explore sounds. And I also wanna communicate somehow with the audience. So if I can, I usually try to do that, to say like, hey, can I help you with anything? Because this is, I think, what I want to do with clinics, like 3 things. I want to play good music, hopefully. I want to like a concert, like nice music. I want to educate and inspire. I want to help out, so someone can maybe hopefully play better or know what to practice when they get home, or something that they can maybe improve about their playing, where they say like, this moment, I like this moment, I want to give that moment as often as I can.
It's light bulb.
Yeah.
And you call it like
yeah,
that, right?
where it's like, and because it's so powerful, when you give that, it can be like, it can be like, it can be really changing. I don't want to say life changing, but it can be really, if you just change one thing and do it differently from one moment on, whether it's a clinic or a conversation that you have or something, it can really have an impact, and that would be nice. So if I try to do that, and the last thing is I want it to be entertaining. So I try to be silly. I try to make fun of myself, so that also people realize that I don't think that I'm anything better. I usually will point out something where I screwed up and where I feel like a beginner on this instrument, because I often do. Every time I practice, I feel like a beginner, and I think it gives people the feeling that they should have, that we're all in this together, and we try to become better at this thing and enjoy this thing, and so these are the 3 things I try to hit. And there are good and bad days. Sometimes it works better, sometimes it works less, but I always try to hit those 3. And then I think a clinic can be a wonderful thing, or a drum festival or something like that. So, but it will always be a little bit different, but this is what I try to do.
Okay, so song, solo, entertaining, talking, and see where it comes. And if you can give somebody like a different path, maybe it deviates just a little bit, but in the long run, that really
absolutely,
that really can go far.
Yeah,
that's great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again too. Adios, Batacas.
I want to thank you, because you gave 2 things that I find very, very valuable, which is attention. We talked about it, attention and time. And I want to thank you again. I said it today already in the masterclass, but also I want to thank you for giving that today. And I hope you have the feeling that I treated this respectfully, because I think it's valuable, and you have the feeling you got something in return for your investment. So thank you very, very much.